Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500, and welcome back to the final video on Loopy Harold. Now at this point it's not fixed, but this is going to be part 5, 10, 12. I haven't got enough fingers. Part 12 of this project series, and it's going to be the last one. So let's get into it right now. Okay, so this is the last video on Project Loopy Harold. So this morning I uploaded part 11, which was the continuing saga, Will It Ever End, of Loopy Harold. In the last couple of hours since I uploaded it, I've had lots and lots of comments, and I thank each and every one of you for your comments and your suggestions. So people have suggested the thermostat, which of course has already been suggested, and it is leaking, so that is what I'm here to do today, to change that. Other people have mentioned the inlet manifold. I don't know whether those people have watched the previous videos on this project. There are obviously quite a lot of those, but within that, obviously I have changed the inlet manifold. Someone did say, just because you changed it doesn't mean to say it's not it still. If it is, it's going to stay like it. I ain't doing it again. The other thing, if this doesn't work, doing this thermostat, now let's rewind a bit. So the thermostat, on the thermostat, is part of the thermostat is the built-in temperature sensor, the water temperature sensor, engine temperature sensor, whatever you like to call it, which, as people have rightly said, tells the ECU how much to fuel and so on and so forth. Because if the engine temperature sensor doesn't work or doesn't work properly, the ECU doesn't know how warm the engine is, so it overfuels, so on and so forth, which could be causing a problem. I'm hoping, again, fingers crossed, I've had fingers crossed a lot on this project, I'm hoping that is going to be the case, but I really don't know. But we're going to try it anyway. We're going to change it, got to change it because it's leaking. Other people have said, what other people said? Can't remember now. There's been so many suggestions this morning. The one other thing to try, if this doesn't work, is, I say try it, is I've got just here is Project Marilyn, which engine runs fine. So I'm going to hook that up to MES, make a note and film, photograph, write down, whatever, all the readings of every setting of the engine, and then plug into Loopy Harold and see if it's if there's anything there that stands out. Someone else, also two other people, did mention a YouTuber who's not far from me, apparently. I can't for the life of me remember. It's something Autos, LM Autos was it, or something like that, who specialises in problems like this. So I will, again, that's another option. I will touch base with them if this doesn't work. However, I am really losing the will to live on this car now. All I want to do is get rid of it. I've had it since November. It's just been going on and on and on. I've spent so much time on it, not masses of money, but time-wise, I've just spent too long on it. I just want to get rid of it. So at the end of the day, if this doesn't work, I'm going to try and get it through its MOT. I'm going to try and book it in for an MOT at the end of the week. It may not pass because of those tinkling noises in the back. We don't know what they are. If they come up as advisories or something, I should do them. If it passes its MOT, then at least it'd be easier for me to sell as it is with a full year's ticket on it. I haven't tracked down the service history yet, which I will do beforehand. Let's try it. Let's get on and do this thermostat. I've got it. It came last week, so it's a matter of taking the battery out. Hopefully we haven't got to take the battery tray out. I don't think I need to do that to get to it. Got to drain it down, obviously, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to drain it down first. I'm not going to bother filming that. I'm just going to drain it down, and then we'll try and get the old one out. Or not try, we will get the old one out and we'll change it and see what happens. So stay with me. See you in a minute. So it didn't take very long. I forgot to film it, actually. I was going to put you on time lapse and I completely forgot. I think I don't need to explain which one's the new one and which one's the old one. Obviously, yeah, it's a bit brown and a bit nasty. It doesn't necessarily mean very much. But well overdue for a replacement. The seal around it is completely flat as well. I mean, obviously it compresses down when you put it in, but yeah, well overdue for a replacement, I would say. So I'm going to clean off the face on the side of the block, get some brake cleaner on there as well and give it a good clean, and wipe it down with a rag, and then we'll get this new one in. It's hopefully it will go in as quickly as it came out. So it's all drained down. I made a bit of a mess down on the floor there. It came out all of a sudden, so I released that pipe there onto the main water pipe and it just gushed. But yeah, it came off quite clearly. It looks okay in there. I can't see it properly. I need to get the torch in there, but the face itself looks okay. So as we know, this car had clearly at some point overheated, hence why we got all the brown stains all over there. Because of course there is the chance that has obviously done some other damage, and maybe the thermostat is part of that. So I think we can safely say, so looking at the old one here, obviously that electrical connection on there, that's the temperature sensor in there. So yeah, how old is Harold? 10 years old. It's 11 plate, isn't it? So yeah, I'd say that was due, wouldn't you? And of course it's leaking anyway, so that says it all really. But yeah, you've seen enough of the thermostats. I'm going to set you up on the tripod, and we'll do it on time lapse, and we'll try and get this all back in again. Right, that's it, all done. Didn't take that long. It was more tricky getting the hoses back on than anything else. So it's all clean under there. All the hoses are back on. We had new clips where necessary. Reuse clips where I can. So now I need to get the battery back in, get it filled up with coolant, and then we'll fire it up and see if it works. Be back in a minute. Okay, that's done. This is just on loose, it's not bolted down, but it's all done up, it's all filled up. Obviously it'll need bleeding, but it's got coolant. Let's fire it up and see what happens. How many times have we done this and it's made no blind bit of difference? Oh, right, nervous moment. If it starts, that's a bonus. I suppose really I need to take it around the block. First of all, I just want to make sure it's not leaking there, of course. Which it's not. Well, not yet anyway. Can't really get that down there. That smoke is just where the spilt stuff is burning off of the manifold. Don't worry about that. It's just where it all came out. It's obviously all over the manifold. So that'll soon burn off. So obviously the engine's cold at the moment, so it's running fine. Will it stay like that? It's a very nervous moment. It's running perfect at the moment, but then of course, as I say, the engine is cold. Revs are constant, no spluttering. It would be marvellous if this has done it, but it does all make sense that it could be that. Obviously once the temperature sensor tells it it's a warm temperature, the revs will go down a bit, but will they stay stable? This is the thing. Well, I'm not going to keep filming while I'm doing it. We'll come back after 5 minutes or so once it's all done. We'll see what happens. Okay, that's done. This is just on loose, it's not bolted down. I'm going to bleed it anyway, so I've got to do that. So I'll do that off camera. Purge all the air out of it. Get it up to running temperature, and fingers crossed, we'll see. Keep everything crossed for me. Wherever you're sitting, stay there now with something crossed. So I sat on the drive for a few minutes with it warming up. I've just taken it around the block. It drives absolutely fine. Still got that tinkling noise, of course, but you can see it's still doing it. The needle doesn't seem to move that much, but you can feel the engine going. You don't know whether you can hear it or not. There it goes. It's not stalling. It actually doesn't seem as bad, but it's still doing it. Frustrating. So I'm going to go and read the. I'm going to go and plug in the other car, the white car, Marilyn. I'm going to plug it in and take the readings on the screen, take some photographs, and then come and compare it to this one. See what we got. See if we can get to the bottom of it from that. But I am going to book it in for an MOT. If it sits like this in the MOT station without stalling, it'll be alright. It's whether it stalls. Actually, I'm going to put the heater on as well, make sure the water's going around properly. It's definitely not as bad, I don't think, but it's still not right. So I'm going to go and do that now. I'm going to take the readings from Project Marilyn and see and compare them, see if anything obvious comes to light. Right, we're currently in Project Marilyn, and we're connected to the engine computer. The engine's been on. We're on 2 bars on the temperature gauge. If you can see that or not. It's not up to proper running temperature, but it is on, and it is idling smoothly. And we got all this. So I've got my iPad with me here, and I've taken photos of these settings. I don't know really. So the engine temperature at the moment is 52. It was probably maybe a couple of degrees cooler than that when I just took the pictures. Oil temperature is 36 degrees. Spark advance 8.0. Oh, it's just changed 8.2 to 10.4. So that's varying. The spark advance reduction are all 0, and they're not changing. Injection time 2.6 milliseconds. I mean, these figures are changing all the time, slightly. If I rev, does it do anything? Not massively. Knock sensor signal 0 volts. Cylinder 1 0.2, 0.3, so I don't know what that is doing. Engine torque 17.9 newton meters. Desired engine torque 18.9. Engine load, intake pressure 4.48. That's fluctuating very slightly. Idle air correction 651.5%. Seems rather a lot. Throttle angle. A lot of this is irrelevant. Throttle position learning not requested. Lambdas. Now we have changed the lambdas, as you know. So lambda 1 pre-cat is closed loop. Lambda 1 after cat is open loop. So I think as a closed loop, someone said it's not giving any information to the ECU. I read somewhere that that it doesn't. It stays closed unless the pre-cat. No, sorry, the other way around. Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, I don't think that means too much, the fact that it's closed loop. Lambda 1 diagnosis pre-cat system lean, which I guess it would be lean if it's on tick over. Sorry, if it's if it's warmed, if the engine's warmed up. Desired idle 700 RPM. That doesn't sound very much, does it? It's higher than that. Cam position 0 degrees. Desired cam -2. Phase variator control, whatever that is. There's nothing there that none of the rest of it is. Fuel consumption 0.47 litres an hour. So what's the engine temperature now? 60 degrees, so it's gone up. So I think we really want to get up. I've taken all those pictures, but I think what I'll do is I'll wait till it moves up 1 more bar, and then I'll take the pictures again, and then do the same with the other car. Let it warm up to actually, oh, 61, yeah, so it's still climbing the temperature. I'm not sure what the optimum working temperature is, to be fair. But yeah, we'll do that. Anyway, so that's the readings here. And we'll go back to Loopy Harold very shortly. And we'll do the readings there and see what we get. Okay, we're in Harold now. Straight away I noticed that the engine temperature is 89 degrees. It was 68 degrees on the other car when it was up to 3 bars. Engine oil temperature was 49. No, hang on, I'm looking at the right one. Engine oil temperature was 49, yeah, and on here it's 68. Spark advance on the other car was 12. On here it's minus 22. Spark advance calculated 11.1, and that's, well, it's going between 11. So I mean that's cycling between different numbers, isn't it? That could be obviously caused by whatever's causing the problem. We go up to the next injection. Where are you? I'm looking at my iPad at the same time. So injection time 2.5, that's 3. Injection time correction is 0, the same. The coil charge times are different, but not that far away. Knock sensor signal is on 0, which is the same as the other one, and they were all 0 point something, so they're all 0.3, 0.3. Engine torque 12.2, the other one was 15.5. So that's changing anyway. Engine load, intake pressure was 4.28. That's 5.18, so it's not a huge amount of difference. Throttle position 0, so it doesn't mean anything. Throttle valve control 51.4. Oh, hang on, throttle valve control, where are we? Spark advance time, spark advance, throttle position, throttle learning stage. That was the next section. Lambda, okay, lambda 1 on here is 0.06, it was 0.8. They're all 0 point something. Closed, right, lambda 1 status pre-cat is closed loop, which is so is the other one. Lambda 1 status after cat open loop, which is the same as here. Lambda 1 diagnosis pre-cat, system lean, yep, and system rich, so they're the same. Oh, hang on, they're the other way around. Oh, they're changing though. System lean, system lean. The other car was system lean, system rich. So lambda 1 diagnosis after cat, system lean and system. So that's not changing from system lean, is it? On the other car, the diagnosis after cat was system rich. So that's the only difference I can see there. Closed loop and open loop is the same. System lean, system lean. So on the other car, lambda 1 diagnosis is system rich. On here it's system lean. Idle position is about the same. Cam position -2 is the same. VVT tooth positions are different, but they're more or less the same. Canister fill, we go up to the canister fill. Where's it gone? Canister fill, there it is. Gas pedal, so none of that's really relevant. Atmospheric pressure, PSI, 14. Fuel atmospheric pressure. Oh no, fuel consumption 0.49 on the other car. It's 0.7, and then it goes up to 1 point something. So that's changing, but that will be to do with the thing. I mean, I've got my foot on the accelerator, and it is still doing it, but it's not stalling, whereas it was before. So it's not as bad as it was. So that's the only thing, apart from, what did we say? So apart from, where are we? Battery voltage, no. What was it? Can't think what it was now. Certainly that lambda sensor. After cat, see, it still says, oh no, it's gone to system rich now. So it's the same now as it was before. So they're changing. That's system rich, system lean, system rich. Yeah, so there's not a massive amount of difference here. We'll compare it anyway. There was one thing, and I've forgotten what it was now, that was different. It is nowhere near as bad. nowhere near as bad. It's not, the needle's not going mental like it did before, and it's not stuttering to a stall like it did before. But it's still not right. Still not right. Let's get an MOT on it and see what happens. Morning. This will be mid-roll, so welcome back. I've just dropped Harold off at the MOT place, and I just got off the bus coming home. While I'm sitting on the bus, so they've had the car 20-25 minutes. I got a call, and you won't believe it, they've actually fixed the problem. They were driving it in as I was leaving. Half hour later, they're calling me, telling me they've done it. I've had the car since November, and I've not been able to get to the bottom. I don't know yet as to what it was. He said the mechanic just said he sorted it. So MOT's at 1:30. And fingers crossed it's going to pass. I think it's going to fail with the shock absorbers, rear shocks. Could be the springs, as we know, one or the other. I haven't got any springs, but I put a set of shocks in the boot, so they can put them on for me if it fails on just that. You never know. So that's really good news. So yeah, just walk home now, have some breakfast. That's it. See you in a bit. I'm currently en route, just waiting for a bus to go and pick Harold up. It's not good news, I'm afraid. I'll fill you in when I get the car back. But it's really not. God, it's not good news at all. So I'll see you in a few minutes. So this is where the oil leak is. Now I can't tell whether it's coming from that sensor, where I changed that sensor, or whether it's coming out of here somewhere. It's difficult to tell. Obviously if it's coming out of here, it will drop down onto there. To me, that actually does sort of look like it's coming from that bit of the rocker cover, but then there is oil staining all around there as well, so I'm not really sure. So I'm going to take that out and have a look. And clean it up if I can. Tricky. So I've cleaned up all the area where the oil had leaked, and I've taken out the cam sensor and cleaned it all around. And I noticed that the cam sensor, and I'm sure it did when I put it on, but I noticed that the cam sensor didn't have a rubber washer on it. I can't find the old cam sensor, so I'm not sure whether it should have one on there or not, but I'm pretty sure it should have. So what I've done is I've put some sealant on, the sealant that you use on a water pump. I put that around it. I left it about half an hour or so to go off. Obviously put it back on, left it about half an hour, tightened everything up, put everything back on together. And at the moment, I've lost my torch now, at the moment there doesn't seem to be any oil leak. So after the garage saying to me it's got a blown egg gasket, I don't think it has. Camera in there. There's no oil leak there. What I can see though is somehow the rubber that goes across the top of the clutch is missing. I'm sure that wasn't missing before. Where the hell has that got to? I'll have to see if I can find one of those. Because obviously that's exposing the clutch. You don't want oil dripping down there, do you? But at the moment, I say it's been running about 10 minutes and there is no oil. I've got a pan underneath, which is clean. And where it was leaking from, there's nothing coming from there. So I think the oil leak was just coming from there, and them saying it's a blown egg gasket is completely wrong. So we're back on Harold again. I've just this is a few days after I sorted out what I believed I sorted out the oil leak, and I've just taken it for a good blast, got it up to running temperature, and there is no oil leaking. So I've obviously cured that. As you can hear, and as you can maybe see, the engine runs absolutely spot on now, no problems at all. So I need to try and take it back and get it through this MOT. Let me just turn this engine off for a second. quieter now. Yeah, so it's running fine. There's no oil leak. What I do need to see is obviously there is a suspected. Let me just loosen that off for a second. There is obviously a suspected, still a bit of air in the system. A little bit of air. Yeah, there's a suspected gasket gone. So I'm not convinced that the gasket has actually gone. There was a little bit of emulsification there. Well, what do you think about that? To me, yeah, it is a little bit maybe. Or is it just black oil? To that degree, to me, I don't think that's a blown gasket. I'm just going to take the dipstick out and give that a wipe and have a look at that. So let's take that out. Yeah, see, that's black. There's no emulsification on that. It's just black. It's just engine oil black. I think they're having me on, or just mistaken, I should say, not having me on. They've seen an oil leak, and for whatever reason they decided to think that it was whether they're putting, like, you know, the burning marks down there where the water's gone over at some point in the past, and obviously the rough running that we had. They've seen the oil leak. When I said to him, where do you think the oil leak's coming from, he said everywhere. I think it's clearly not. It was clearly coming from that sensor that I changed, and I've cured that. So I'm going to give them a call tomorrow. They've still got, obviously, we've got the noises coming from the back, so I don't think it's going to pass an MOT by any stretch of the imagination. But I want to get it MOT'd so they can then say what's wrong with it, and then I can either get them to just put the new shocks on, which are still sitting in the footwell, or to pass it, or me bring it home and fix whatever needs fixing. At least then I can then sell it with an MOT. If I can get a 12-month ticket on it, then even if it has got a blown head gasket, at least I'll get more for it by having a full ticket on it. But you know, it's running absolutely fine apart from those noises it's making. So yeah, I'm going to give them a call tomorrow and see if I can book it in for this week. So I'll be back as and when we get it booked in. So, welcome back. A few days has passed since that last video. My last recording was saying that I was going to ring up for a MOT the following day. I did that, and 2 days ago it went in for an MOT, and it failed. However, I only gave you a little quick preview then. We'll see, let's have a look, see what it failed on. Not much at all. Direction indicator, incorrect colour, near side rear, and the same on the offside rear. So I immediately went on to eBay and bought a new set of lights. However, what I didn't think about, they haven't come yet, but what I didn't think about is it's probably the bulb, isn't it? And I do vaguely recall, let me just put the hazard lights on. I do vaguely recall the day I got this, or when I did the walk around, I did comment that the bulbs weren't very orange, they were quite white, and as you can see there, don't know if it's showing up on camera, they look orange on camera, but they're not, they're quite pale. So I'm sure I've actually got some bulbs. I'm going to check in a minute, but I have actually ordered some new lights, but I don't think probably that one's even more white than the other one. So I've ordered the lights, they haven't come, but I'm probably just going to change the bulbs anyway, but I'll keep the lights. I will use them at some point in the future. So apart from that, it failed on the headlamp aim projected beam. Image is obviously incorrect, which it often does when they've had new headlights, and they always adjust that anyway. So the only reason it really failed was because of these bloody bulbs. So registration plate lamp inoperative. Obviously there are two of these. One of them's not working, which I'll change in a minute. And that tyre, it says tyre obviously underinflated, which yeah it is. Didn't even think to check that. So it's actually good news. So as at the beginning of this video and all the way through, you can see that I'm actually getting quite despondent about this car. I'm actually a bit more upbeat about it now, because although it is still making these noises, they were going to change the shocks for me. But when they called me and said that it's failed the MOT, but I told them that there was no locking wheel nut, and I've left locking wheel nuts on the back here. So I hadn't taken them all off, so they hadn't done it. However, I said, well, as I've got to take it away to do the rear lights and what have you, I might as well do the shocks myself, which is what I will do. And also in the boot, oh hang on, let me get the boot open. Let's turn those hazard lights off. When I went to pick the car up the following day after the MOT failure, the boss of the place said to me, oh, we had a Fiat 500 spare wheel knocking around, so I thought you might make use of it, so I put it in your boot. So there I have a nice space saver. Is it a full? It looks quite big actually. Yeah, I know it is a 14. Yeah, so that's a Fiat 500 space saver wheel with a decent tyre on it, free of charge. So that's quite good. So I've got a free wheel and no MOT. There is some other issue. As you know, this is the car that keeps on giving. There was another strange noise that came to light as I was driving. I think I only ever first heard it when I was driving it to the MOT and thought I was hearing things, but I think it's that wheel bearing. There's some strange, how can I describe it? It's not doing it all the time. It's not doing it when I go over bumps. It's not doing it any particular time. It's just random. A rolling, growling sort of noise. It's difficult to explain. But going by when I had when I had a wheel bearing go before on the blue car, I think it was. I think that's what it is. So I'm not going to bother about it at the time being. Because I have a plan for this car. As you know, I'm getting a brand new car, which I'm actually picking up next week. And I've just got a new job, whereas I have to park in the street. I'm in a different location and I have to park in the street. So I will not be parking. The Abarth I still have, because the lady who's buying it has not sold her old car yet. So although I've taken a deposit, I've actually still got it. So I've been using it. And I don't intend to park the Abarth in a street, in a side street, or my brand new car in a side street. So I'm going to be using this. Until such time as I'm not working there anymore, I'm going to use this. So I'm going to hold on to it for now. So I'm going to get these shocks done. Hopefully tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but as you might be able to see, it started raining. So I'm not doing those today. I'll get the shocks done, hopefully tomorrow. I'll get those bulbs changed tomorrow. And I will order, although I'm not too bothered about it at the moment, I will order a hub and just change the hub over, the entire hub, rather than, because obviously I haven't got a press to be able to do the wheel bearing, so it's easier just to buy an entire hub and put a new hub on, or second-hand hub I should say. And then I'll be taking it back. I'm going to try and book it in again for next Friday, as I'm off next Friday. And then Friday we'll have another MOT, so I'll have a nice fresh MOT on it. It is taxed, it is insured, all it needs is that MOT, and it's road legal. So it was on eBay up for sale for 1,650, which would have been me taking a £300 hit. I've now taken it off of sale and I've put on the listing that is no longer for sale. The oil leak is sorted, as you know. I don't believe it has got a leaking gasket, head gasket. I don't think it has. So I'm going to use it. It drives fine, it sounds fine, apart from that tinkling noise down there. So, as I said, I think you can probably tell that I'm a bit more upbeat now than I was on it before. I'm standing there getting wet. But yeah, I'm a little bit more positive now. I've had this car since November, which is ridiculous. I've had it so long. I've spent so much time on it. Luckily my time is free, otherwise I'd be bankrupt. So it will go up for sale at some point in the hopefully not too distant future. But as I say, when I get my new car next week, I'm not going to be using that for work, so I won't be putting any miles on it. Obviously we have Marilyn still sitting here. The white one. Sorry, this isn't Marilyn. No, Marilyn, sorry. Marilyn is the white one. Marilyn is currently in the body shop where they're sorting out that inner wing. So before this is MOT'd, I'm going to be using this one on Monday. So tomorrow, I'm going to get that door card on, change the door lock and handle. I'm going to have a go, weather permitting, at these dents. And then come Monday, again, this is insured. It's MOT'd. I've just got the logbook back. So I am going to tax it tomorrow as well, and then it's road legal. I can drive it, just because it's got a big crunch in the side and a bit of a crunch there. Don't matter. I'm going to whack some paint over there just to disguise it slightly, and I'm going to start using it. So I use that. When that's MOT'd at the end of the week, the following week I'll start using that. And so yeah. So I have lots of negative over this car, as all of a sudden it's become a little bit of a positive. and there's no rush to get that wheel bearing, as long as the wheel bearing doesn't seize or something. I don't know if I've got a slow puncture in that tyre, but I'll just pump it up for the time being and see what happens to it. It is quite low, I can see it's low. So all the way going through this video, or certainly right at the very beginning of the video, I was saying that this is going to be the last one on this car. I think now I will have another video on it, because I've still got to do those shocks, and I've still got to do the bearing at some point. So we will have another video on this, and obviously we will, when we've got that MOT on it, I'll show you that MOT, and job will be a good one at long last. So as there is more work to do on it, I'm going to hold on to it, and we will do one more video. And I know you'd all miss Loopy Harold, because I think this is video number 12, so there will be unlucky for some, number 13. So for now, that's the end of Loopy Harold. He will be back. He will be back. All road legal. So thank you for watching this series. If you haven't watched the rest of the series, go back to the first one and start on the day it was delivered. I'll put the link above so you can see it. But for the time being, always massive thanks for watching. Massive thanks for your subscriptions. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that button and subscribe to the channel. Our channel subscriptions have slowed down a bit recently, and I need to get them up. I want to get it up to 5,000 by the end of this year, and they have slowed down a little bit recently. So please give us a thumbs up. I don't want any thumbs down, just give us a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and we will see you on the next video next week. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Take care.